Welcome, I'm Zach, and this week's Walthers Showroom Update is all about those WalthersProto EMD F7 units. We've got production samples here today. They're absolutely gorgeous and they're coming in January. This is your chance to see them before they arrive. Let's get to it. Designed to power the WalthersProto Santa Fe 1954 El Capitan, these Class 300 F7s feature the classic war bonnet scheme in a plated metal finish. They're based on engines 300 through 305 as they appeared after 1953. Starting off on the nose, unit 305 here, you'll see the door-mounted headlight and the Mars light. And above the cab are two single-chime horns. Beyond that, we've got the 36-inch dynamic brake fan, followed by the radiator fans and exhaust stacks. And along the top of the unit, you're going to see the vertical far-type etch grills, and you're going to see a single firecracker antenna at the back. And one other thing that might not translate very well in this video, the lift rings. They're formed wire. They're ultra-fine detail that you can actually see through. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to the lower portion of this unit to show you the speed recorder on the truck. And toward the midsection, you'll see the battery box and the fuel tank with the skirting. And toward the end, you can see the water fill hatch. And behind that, you can see the B unit with some of the same features found on the A unit. The one major difference being that you've got the steam generator details near the end, which includes the air intakes, the vent, and the exhaust stack. Next up is the Burlington Northern in a very sharp Cascade green scheme, as it was seen in service from the mid-1970s to retirement. Checking out unit 732 just above the freight pilot are lift rings. Well, at least one of them. The other one broke off. And you can see that there's a door-mounted headlight and the Mars lights on the nose. And there are a number of grabs on the nose and above the windshield and on top of the cab. Also found on top of the cab is a working rotary beacon, firecracker antenna, and a Nathan P3 horn. Behind that, you can see that this unit's equipped with a 36-inch dynamic brake fan. And following along with the radiator fans and the exhaust fans, we'll find a winterization hatch over the last fan. Dropping back down to give you a better look at the side of this unit, you'll first notice the angled wind deflectors on the cab window. Down the body, horizontal etched stainless grills. And just below that are some standard intake louvers. They're standard F7 features as built. And a little lower you'll see a partial skirt just before the battery box and no skirting on the fuel tank. Behind that you can see the B unit, and again, you'll see the radiator fans and the exhaust stacks with the one winterization hatch with the covered fan on the end. One of the more unique units of this bunch, the Canadian National unit, is based on F7A and BU locomotives rebuilt in 1973 and in service to 1988. Above the freight pilot, you'll notice that there is no headlight on the door, and instead it features just one nose light. Grab irons are somewhat sparse on this nose. Above the cab, you'll see the Sinclair antenna in front of a Nathan K3 air horn. A little further back on the left side of the unit, you can see a top-mounted bracket holding the bell, which is a very unique feature that's found just on the CN. Along the roof, you'll notice the absence of the dynamic brake fan. The standard radiator fans and exhaust stacks are flanked by an oil cooler piping, with the last fan covered in a winterization hatch. Floating back down to the cab, I'll give you a look at the side of the unit. You'll first see the sunshades and the angled wind deflectors near the window. And it's hard to see because it's black on black, but this unit features horizontal etched stainless grills. And on the bottom, a partial skirt just before the battery box and no skirting on the fuel tank. Behind that, you can see the B unit with much of the same rooftop features with the cooling coils and the winterization hatch. And then we'll go ahead and move on over to the end here, where you'll see a single chime air horn pointing straight down and a non-working backup light. This low-bow wave scheme for the Chesapeake Ohio is, in my humble opinion, the sharpest looking scheme of the bunch. This unit is based on F7s in service on the C&O from 1952 to 1963. Starting off on the A end, you can see the door-mounted headlight. And on the nose, the upper headlight is actually a red Mars light. There's grabs up the nose, and in front of the windshield you can see there's a radio antenna conduit streaking up towards the whip antenna at the top. Just behind that, there's a massive Nathan M5 horn with all 5 horns forward. As with other units seen today, the unit has a 36-inch dynamic brake fan and the standard radiator fans and exhaust stacks. Revisiting the side of the unit, you'll see the cab is equipped with an angled wind deflector and sunshades. All the way down the body, you'll find the vertical far style grills. The battery box and the fuel tank are both fully skirted on the C&O. Behind that, you can see the B unit, which is also equipped with the far style grills. And on the B end, you'll see the non-working backup light. The final model I have to show you is an AB set Union Pacific livery. This unit is modeled after F7s and service from 1952 to 1963. Starting on the A end, just above the Flying Shield logo, you'll see the door-mounted headlight, and above that, a nose-mounted Mars light. Above the cab are two mounted long roof grabs, and between them, two single chime air horns, one facing forward with the other one back. Behind the cab of the unit, we've got a 36-inch dynamic brake fan and the standard radiator fans and exhaust stacks with some additional roof grabs on the end, just beyond the lift rings. Back to the side of the unit, on the cab windows, you'll notice a very unique looking sunshade, unlike any of the other units shown today. The unit's equipped with the vertical far style grille, and the battery box and the fuel tank are both fully skirted. Behind that, you can see the B unit, which is also equipped with the roof grabs, vertical edge grills, and the skirting. Arriving in just 1 month, we've got these beautiful HO scale models coming in very soon. But they're available in very limited quantities as well. At Walthers, we're sold out of the Santa Fe units, for instance. You should absolutely check with your local hobby shop for availability on all 5 different paint schemes, or you can check out Walthers.com for availability today. You do not want to miss this model. It's gorgeous. That's our show for this week. Come back in 2 more weeks, and we're going to have a brand new tool, Walthers mainline Gevo unit, to show off to you for the first time. We're going to run them here on our track to celebrate the new year. So happy holidays from all of us here at Walthers.